Chaos Reign.
Chaos Reign presents How to Spot a Pokeyman. Broadcast July the 31st, 2022. Enjoy.
The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at TalkRealSolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of TalkRealSolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not TalkRealSolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
All right. In a world where there's crime, corruption, violence, murder, rape, theft, and all forms of atrocities that plague the world in which we live in today, what you're witnessing, we are living in a state of chaos, and taking more greater or extremer chaos to restore the order in which the world you live in today. Good evening. Welcome again to another stream, live broadcast here on the Chaos Reign channel. As you know, I am Chaos Reign here, the one and only. Yeah. Today's stream is an important subject and something that I have kept and put thought into it. I put nightless thinking about this, and I was always going to save this for, I guess, a special, when the right occasion when it needs to be revealed, to really give some form of assistance to the ladies that's out here that's making rather conscious decisions or irresponsible decisions. I think the few guys I could lay out might help. Before I give you the title for today's stream, make sure you are subscribed and you're following T.R.S. on Facebook and on YouTube. Same name, same banner. As you know, the Facebook side of Talk Real Solutions, you will be joined to a private group once you follow the page. And on the page, it gets a little funny, hectic, crazy, whatever. I'll tell you one thing. When you join Facebook Talk Real Solutions, you're going to see a lot of articles, a lot of memes, a lot of stuff going on in the Facebook side of Talk Real Solutions. And trust me, I laugh constantly when I'm on there watching it, personally. So like the page on Facebook, and you'll get invited to the private chat room on Facebook. Also, Talk Real Solutions on YouTube as well. Same name, same banner, line, as always. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to. And one thing I always forget, I always begin with this. You also could go to the website as well to know the latest articles, news, and things that's going on outside the world, and in and outside, not only here in America, but beyond. A lot of information is sent through the website, and some articles touch on to some current events, things that people should really keep an eye out, whether it's in politics or things go local around certain neighborhoods and certain cities near you. So all the information is on the website as well. So look up and type in talkrealsolutions.com as well. And you know, on the website there's a donation tab where you could donate whatever the show is, you feel the show is qualified for. That's on the website. And I forgot. My manners. Also, subscribe to the Chaos Reign channel as well. As you know, I'm pushing and, almost meeting the so-called quota of just the start off of what, in my opinion, should have gotten there last year, maybe. I could be wrong, but like I said, YouTube is funny nowadays when it comes to content, and my channel especially. As y'all know, I'm not too rambunctious. I'm not too wild. I'm not too crazy on my channel, per se, because I structure my channel the way it should operate. And it should be not only the conversation, but to really focus on certain issues that plague the world in which you live in today. Some that are prevalent to, the communities, black communities, etc. And also outside what's going on in the world in regards to the effects that it has on people. Because people do not unleash their own inner chaos unless they were conditioned to do so. The environment, as I see fit, makes and it brews and creates monsters. People that have to go in their lower level or lower loins of themselves to really get the outcomes they need. And sometimes I would say it's not your fault, but you are participating into an environment that harbors and nourishes your disorder, your dysfunction, with either good or bad intentions, and you should know that. So it is your responsibility to really get grips and control of the environment is trying to dictate your behavior as a human being, man or woman. So that's pretty much the groundworks. So subscribe to Chaos Rain channel as well. Also follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7 and join the Discord service. It's on the About section on the channel, Chaos Rain channel. Oh, and don't forget to add me on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. Those are links. So now, what should we talk about? Chaos Rain presents how to spot a Pokemon. Pokemon. How do you spot a Pokemon? Or a Pokemon, sorry. But it's funny, when I came up with this title, I remember back in the day when Pokemon was a more popular anime, a cartoon, back in the late 90s. A lot of people going crazy buying and playing not only the Game Boy version of Pokemon, but also playing the car version as well. Because they had so much unique creatures that people just falls in love with the variety of animals that was created. They had their own unique gifts and powers. And, it took off up to the point where now they're making a new one that's supposed to be released for the Nintendo Switch. And they said this one is supposed to be the one that really is a top notch. But we shall see. We shall see. But, anywho, hold on, guys. Alright, let me close some windows. No, actually, I won't close it. What's this? Oh, damn. Oh, wow. Yeah, maybe because old person. Now look at this. Yeah. Anyway, a Pokeyman. Now, what is so important to really spot a Pokeyman for the ladies? As you know, ladies, there is always a constant rise of the STDs and sexually transmitted disease rate here in America, or we could say outside America, but we'll only focus on America for the sake of conversation. That a lot of women are getting caught up with not only exploiting their lower bodies, their yonis, to random men and also women. So, but for sake of conversation, women are still having engaged in intercourse with men. That they sometimes, if not careful, will contract certain disease. Now, if y'all remember Nick Cannon's statement and speech about Pokemon, Nick Cannon's quote or tweet or whatever it was that he made this statement, how he said that 80% of the women that he has interact have bad vag, meaning they're not clean, they have odor, etc. And I said, okay, we'll give you that, Mr. Cannon. But if the women out here that you entertain has bad vag in upwards of 80%, right? What that says about you as a man. Because what is found, and this has gone rampant, and it for some reason it went under the rug, surprisingly, that you were having some exchange or entanglements with the one, I think it was Ken Mitchell, with another man that was floating around the internet. Now, can we say that this was factual or Nick Cannon is denying it? He has not said not one word that he denied it or said that it's true or not, which is always suspect. Because to have claims that you are out here engaged in, homosexual activities, you want to protect your reputation as a man, last time I checked. But I never heard no rebuttals or anything leaked back out or anything contradicting of his actions in regards to that this was floating around the internet. And I tell people many times, anytime when a man doesn't open his mouth and tries to deny it, it's always telling. There should be always a form of keeping it honest, so there is a sense of real damage control. Excuse me. But I don't see no follow-up to that part. And for a good reason that there is no follow-up, because it could possibly be it could be true. Unfortunately. And if it is as stands, that's a bad look for this brother, because let's be honest, for you to be open your mouth now after people found out that you were alleged in an entanglement with a male, to find that you come out in return and made a statement like that is very telling on your character as a man. You have no skin in the game talking about a woman's vaginal hygiene, because you, Mr. Cannon, like to dabble into the Hershey highways, aka shit. And we all know what happens to people once they dabble into shit. There are a lot of complications and problems, not only the short term but the long term as well. One of the few things that I've noticed, I'm just looking at some guys, sorry. One of the few things that always catch my attention is that we don't really take our health seriously as people when it comes to having sexual intercourse. As y'all know, when it comes to black folks, for the last 30 or more years, we always, that's my check. There was some that were the exception to the rule, but most majority of black people particularly always dealt with heterosexual sex in one way or the other. All the other new enclaves or new things that I've came across, even as a young boy, even a man, and I got caught up to in a way in regards to shifting of how you have to view and look at having sex. Yes. I think back in them days when they had VH tapes where people used to get a chance to watch the so-called porn. Even to the point now where, and most young people back then used to try to finagle it. I don't know if I should use that word, finagle. That's something new, but I don't know if it makes sense, but follow me. How back in days when you had to sit there in your old screen television, usually you had to sit there, bypass it by wait at a certain time, not with the so-called box cable. You're able to see little snippets of what we call sexual activity. Now, mind, these are things going around back over 40 years ago. Moving forward up to the 90s and 2000s. If you think about it, most people at the time, when it comes to sisters never did gave head like they do now in the late 90s going on 2000s. It was taboo in certain parts of the black community, but it became more of a norm as time progressed. And let's be honest, not saying that sisters never did it, but it took a while. Now, we could say the music helped fuel sexual perversions from the Little Kims, the, what's her name? Adina Howards. We could say Foxy, too. And those artists came around mid-90s, 95 particular. Not 94, but just around the mid-part of 1990s, it started surface a little bit. And knowing so, that a lot of sexual perversions were introduced to us in the community with the assistance of, or I could say there's certain infant stages of what we call pornographics. Now, mind you, Europeans have been doing sexual perversions throughout the centuries, and they engaged and did it to us during the times of enslavement and even to present day, right? But we never took on that behavior towards each other en masse until with the advent of the promotion and the promotion and image of pornography come into certain plays in America, including the community, black community especially. If you look at after 1969, porn was outlawed up to the late 60s. And at the same time, if you think about it, people, the LGBTQ was established in 69. So once they started establishing homosexuality, people that are gay and stuff at the time, to create what they call organization and movements, that's when porn started to be legalized. Ironically, that same year, because we looked before 1969, most of the pornographic images and all that stuff, they were very taboo, and there was circulate as so-called mainstream in a way where people could just easily go to the store and buy it like that. It did not start coming around till the end of the 60s when LGBT and gays start really formulate their own organization. So that's a little background. And I did content on this. I said this countless recent episodes on my Chaos Rain channel. I had to find it, though, to really reveal that. But I did some digging on that little history. I Googled it, actually. And I kind of find the pieces of the breadcrumb to formulate my own whole to the things. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing is. So, now, thinking so and knowing so this, we come to so-called 2000s, and we could say around early 2010s, most likely. But we'll say around end of 2000 era going on to the next decade, you start hearing certain music like Akoto saying that if you get close to me, I'm going to eat the booty like groceries. Now, that was the first song, and there probably may be other songs, but that's the only song I can remember and recall that talk about eating the booty like groceries, right? And mind you, this is going to be very raw tonight. If you cannot stomach this, please exit stage left. I'm trying to lead you to something so I could deal with the topic at hand of ways of how to spot certain things. Because the environment has changed so drastically now that we have now what we call outbursts, as you know, that could be related to, you know, sexual behaviors between same sex. But, I'm not going to conclude that it could be the definite reason. It's leading on to something much more bigger than we're not really talking about. And one of the small issues that I hear a lot of sisters complain about is the down low brother or the down low man. Well, before we go into that, we go to 2010 era. And if I type in now with my Google, and I should do this because this will help me better. And as always, people, as I'm looking something up, please like the stream, share the stream, and leave a comment as well. All right. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can find that. Ah, I think this is the one. Let me see when it came out. One second, people. Okay, I found the video. Let me see if I can find the date and time when this came out. Because I gotta know when it came out. And this is a song by Amarion. The song is titled Supposed to Be. And as I'm scrolling now, this looks like this is more mid-2000s. Yeah, it looks like this might have been the mid-2000s. Alright. Okay, I'm going to try to find the actual date when this came out. Alright, let's look. Okay, this actually, my mistake. It was not 2010. It was 7 years ago, ironically. Yeah, 2015. So, it's only 7 years old, people. Makes sense. Makes sense. Anyway, let me go back. So, 7 years ago that song came out. So let's lead on to now. That was down during the mid-2010 era. But if you look at the time during the 2000s or 2000s era or decade, you know, a lot of things have been going on. People that was born in the late 70s, early 80s were doing things that people were doing in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Some were giving head, maybe engaged in, you know, anal activities. That was more normalized around for the last roughly 20-something years ago. Up to, you know, now people are eating booties like groceries up to the mid-2010s. The point is this, that now that sex has become an appetite and is not something to be looked at more than a food source, that now when ladies talk about saying that they find out their mate that they deal with, the opposite sex, is on the low or the down low, they don't know why. Or they're not curious or not even investigating or asking the right questions of not only why, but why they did not catch it sooner. And the reason why, because majority of people, especially our ladies, are very ignorant and dumb to really know their real intention, what they want. Now, I know they talk about, most of these dudes, they talk about, and they use this term that a lot of men are gay, even black men are gay, for a reason. But, and behind closed doors, you entertain males that are actually homosexual in nature, which to me is confusing to the male populace that's not about that or is not even gay from the start, which is ironic. Now, as y'all know, my good friend Mr. Dawa Israel, we did a lot of content on agendas for the last, I think, if I could be right, for the last seven years, maybe 8 years, even to the point when he wrote a book on it back in 2011, and then was able to republish it in 2012. Yeah. And then the funny thing about it is that book was done by his little small research about agendas and what are the consequences of certain sexual activities. Now, as you know, a man that engaged in, the Pokeyman type behavior will, in time, will have his colon collapse. And reason why that is because if black men by other black men, and he's engaged in this by other black men, that if he's having anything that's shoved up in him that's very lengthy, it will collapse his colon because the body itself is not designed to be used as a sex object, especially when it comes to the same sex. We all know it's right. I'm not sure if school's teaching sex education like it should be. I remember back in school, maybe they talked about briefly when I was coming up. I can't speak for anybody else. But I think now, way how they teach it now, I think they're not being transparent and honest. And there's good intention why that is. Because by doing so, you give a sense of fear to those that know that if you engage in this behavior for a lengthy period of time and do it for over a period of years, you will potentially increase your risk of many things. HPV and colon cancer, right? And I think there's other things, other STDs and stuff. And because of this, and mind you, this is with those men that don't like to use condoms, or if they're not using the right condoms, whatever, they're still engaged in it. Because let's be honest, certain things that the body is designed as usefulness, and if it's constantly being used and abused in a non-traditional fashion, you create problems. So, a man that's engaged in Pokeyman sex is always at risk for all these things, including HIV, which will lead to AIDS. Because remember, back in the day, when AIDS was surfacing, it was known as it was a gay disease. And eventually, over the period of a couple of years after the end of the 70s, going on early 80s, that they said that women could get it too, but they forgot to say that women started to get these things because men are engaged in activities they shouldn't be engaged with other men, and they bring it home back to the ladies, and ladies get infected. I mean, I think one time there was one story of a particular woman that eventually got this new thing called the pox, the mpox, monkeypox, I think they call it, yeah. I think there's stories out that now. So, yeah, but it goes back to say that they're not really pinpointing per se that they said it is related that people that are homosexual nature that's getting this, but there's more to it. If you look at the history of monkeypox, this is something that happened in Africa. Now, they said that Africans were eating certain foods that might be a problem, that might have caused certain illness, but we're not really looking into more deeper to the rabbit hole that are the Africans getting treated with Western medicine? Are they getting injections? We don't ask these questions because to know saying that the diet the African has been eating for centuries, now they're getting outbreaks and getting disease. Things don't make sense in the short term and the long term. The point is this, that you always got to question a lot of things and question them now, because there's a lot of things that's being developed and brewed, and there's no quantitative answers, but they are sure is feeding you artificial medicines for the problem. That still leads to a bigger problem. So, the call number for tonight's show is 717-908-1834, access code 917-324-pound. I repeat, 717-908-1834, access code 917-324-pound. Today's subject, Chaos Reign, presents how to spot a Pokeyman. I'm going to have to edit that, but yeah. Now, before I go into certain guides the ladies could follow if they choose to, there was a story circling right now onto the net. And matter of fact, I will probably pull that one up, because this one was pretty important. Let me find this. Let me see. Oh, my fault. I just noticed it was not posted. I was right. It was 8 years ago. Posted in 2014. 4 years ago. I mean, 8 years, 4 years in the last decade in 2010. So the numbers match up. Okay, that was good. That was good. So I'd make a correction. As Chris Brown give AIDS to a lady. Let's see what pops up. Now, let me see. There's a Black Enterprise, and these are links I'm not gonna probably put. You're gonna have to probably look up yourself. The first link that comes up in a search engine, top engine about this story, is the following: the Black digital media brand, Instagram model, connection to Nick Cannon and Chris Brown, says she has AIDS for 8 to 10 years. This was posted now, July the 30th, 2022. On Monday, 27-year-old Instagram model Gina 2, or I think her name is 2, reveals on social media her experience navigating her AIDS diagnosis. She was received an outpour of love since the announcement. The model has been linked to celebrities like Nick Cannon, David East, and Chris Brown. I'm not sure who David East is. If people could write in the chat room who that is, I would appreciate it. The Honest refused to expose those she's been with sexually. In the viral video, Through, shares her story, still unknowing of how she contracted the disease. She goes on to say that doctors estimate she's been living with the virus for about 8 to 10 years due to the gravity of her body's deterioration to the point of death. Oh, gosh. That's not good. Hold on, guys. Let's go down. I do not know how I gave it to me or how I gave it to me or where I got it, how I got it. She started the video. All I know is because I was so sick to the point of death that they said I had to have had it for 8 to 10 years. Okay. Now, do I really believe this? I can't say because this has been circling now for the last week. She goes on, and in that time frame, I was living in New York City and I was homeless. I didn't get raped a couple of times. Not something I like to talk about, she shared. I have had a couple 5 tattoos, so it could have been a dirty needle. I don't know. Do I know those people? No. Did I say anything when these things happened? No. Because I was naive and I was stupid and I was young. And there's more, and there's pictures of her Instagram. In prior videos, she talks about how she even found out she was sick. During a checkup at a hospital, a doctor asked her if she knew she had AIDS. That's how she found out. I lost a lot of weight because I was in the hospital. I didn't know what happened. 2 said, from losing all that weight, I lost mobility in my legs, so I can't walk or stand right now. But I do my therapy every day, and I do take my pills every day like I'm supposed to. I take 5 pills a day. And there's more pictures of her. The model also states that doctors warned her if she seek medical attention any later, she would have been dead. My blood count was so low two, I think I'm saying it right, two, mentioned I was needing blood bags. That was taking bone samples. They were doing a lot because I was so weak, still so weak. I think I have wasted syndrome. I'm not anorexic on purpose. Upon sharing her story on social media, she expressed the importance of young people being tested anytime they get a new partner. Although she is not naming names about who she's been with sexually, she claims she lets all her sexual partners know and that no one has tested positive, reports TMZ. Thu has set up a GoFundMe to help with the medical bills as well as support for her sister's family who they recently lost. That's one of the articles. And this was posted on this website. So let me go back. Now, mind you, if she doesn't really give disclosure, why I'm finding these two celebrities, Chris Brown and Nick Cannon, in these stories. Now, this is my problem with a lot of these stories. Now, I can't say she's lying or telling the truth, but is it ironic when these stories float that people are not paying attention? And I mean, pay attention in a lot of things. I'll post it here. They're not paying attention to the point where if this was a false or a lie, there should be rebuttals. There should be stories where she said, I apologize. I'm not finding none of this. Have y'all noticed this? And it makes me think that a lot of these entertainers, especially rock stars, rappers, singers, etc., have a very much a luxurious sexual lifestyle where they get the cream of the crop of random women of all, not only all ages, but all other races. And knowing so that if they never caught an STD, which some of them do, I don't care how many times they get checked personally, that you think there'll be some damage control right now for this. Now, a lot of people will say that there should not be no damage control. They said rumors like be. No, that's very serious. That's very serious. Very serious. Because if you're a woman that had this or did not know this for over 8 or more years, that tells you you've been having sexual intercourse with a lot of people, including females as well. So you have the stage of the HIV that eventually will lead to the AIDS as what she has now. Now, she said she didn't know where she got it from, who she contracted from. But I'll tell you this, you out here running your mouth and there's names of celebrities that had some entanglement with you, which can be problematic and could hurt the reputation of a lot of these celebrities. Now, she looked like she's a Caucasian or Asian or a white woman, particularly. And personally, not saying I don't care, but it lets me know say that these dudes are very loose with their seeds, and it is hurting them, and it's come back to bite in the ass. To say that if you're a person that's out there, which a lot of them are, that you are putting yourself at risk. And not putting yourself at risk, you put yourself at a very high risk where something down the line is going to happen to you. And you're going to get something that can't be corrected. So I just read that article. So I see somebody raise a hand. Before I give my scenarios, I'm going to take first caller. All right, first caller, who's this? Oh, hello.
Hello. Hi, Gary. How you doing? It's Gigi.
Good evening, GC. What's on your mind? Hello.
The girl is black, but she's very light-skinned.
Yeah, I've noticed that. She looks like she could be black. But she's so skinny, it's hard to tell. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, she got down to, I think she got down to 65 pounds at one time. I don't think she's trying to embarrass Nick Cannon or Chris Brown. I think that because she doesn't know where she got it, that she may have gotten it from them. So I think that's why she is saying, them and other people that she had sex with, for them to get checked out, and if they know that they have this illness, to let people know. Also, I think she came. I don't remember where she came from, if it was Canada, but when she came to New York, she was only 18, and she came by herself. So she was homeless, and she said she had been raped once or twice, and that she had received free tattoos. So she wasn't sure if the tattoo place gave her the illness or what have you. But it's a really, really sad story, and I'm glad that she does have family that's helping take care of her and everything. I think that was it. I'm glad you covered that story, and also I wanted to know. Oh, you did mention monkeypox, so that's good.
Yeah, I don't want to go into detail with the monkeypox because right now I'm not sure what's going on with that personally with the monkeypox.
What do you mean you're not sure?
Because right now I'm hearing other things that this has been around longer before this outbreak. We hear that's now surfacing here in the West, and right now I'm hearing from the internet. They said that it could be a so-called gay disease, possibly, and now I'm hearing that this has been around in the continent of Africa for decades. So right now I'm right now my hands in the air with this, so I'm not going to anymore talk about it until otherwise. But I'll tell you one thing, and I know this, I'm telling this personally, Gigi. A lot of people, young or old, are wearing masks, and when I asked them why you wear masks, they said that they're wearing this to protect them from the pox. And I told one young sister this, listen good, listen to me good. This is not something that is in the airborne. This is something that is physically touched. But because we're so conditioned for the last 2 damn years of wearing masks, now people wearing masks thinking that it's going to protect them from this. People are not using critical thinking, Gigi. A lot of people say that because things out that putting something over your face is enough. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a lie. There's something much more deeper. And I think people should. There's a fear about it, but I think people should really sit back on this one until there's more clarity, real clarity, in my opinion. And I think there's not enough clarity to this. So I will not be so eager to be rushing and then getting all scared. And I'm not saying people should not be scared about this, because I've seen 1 or 2 videos on IG on this, you know what I'm saying? But we're not sure what's really up. You get me? Because this now is starting to pop out just recently, Gigi. And you mind you, a lot of people already got their own dose of, shots throughout the last year and a couple months. So, like I said, we got to sit back and really see what really is going on and see what type of outcomes are really, what's the real intention of this, Because to have something like that, from what I'm hearing, the timetable of healing, if anybody gets this, is a whole month. It's worse than the chickenpox. I don't remember chickenpox lasting that long. I could be wrong because it's been a long time. I'm not sure if you had children or someone that had chickenpox back in the late 80s, maybe 90s. You know what I'm saying?
I had them.
Oh, you had them. Oh, you had them when you were like a teenager or when you were young?
Well, I had the rubella, the German measles, when I was a teenager. And I had chickenpox when I was little.
So, and they came with a vaccine back in early 90s. You know, right?
Yes.
And you don't hear nothing about chickenpox again. You ever notice that?
Very rarely. But don't forget, they're talking about polio now. They're saying there's a case of polio in America.
Well, polio has always been around America for centuries now. And my thing is this, Gigi, with all these outbreaks that's coming around, how I look at it, just me, and everybody can criticize this, that people are going to be very mindful of not only what they're getting in their bodies, but they're going to have to really now take their health a little bit more serious and vigilant. I mean, if you think about the Western diet today, it is easy now to get any disease because our diets are very poor. We're toxifying our bodies too much, and it's hard for the body with the immune system to fight back a lot of these diseases or to prevent these diseases personally. So if we have a very poor diet, which leads to our health, we're going to fall victim to any disease. All disease, actually. You get me? We're not going to escape it. You know? So, I mean, and I did shows about ways people can improve their health, you know, ways that, you know, how to detoxify. I had Terrence on here many times, you know, 2 times. I ain't going to bring him back again because it's going to be a while, but like I said, I've covered this in detail for the last, actually 5 years. I covered this early, back in 2017, I think about it. But the point is this, the best prevention is you got to increase your immune system. You get me? There's no way around it. Because these outbreaks, they're either biologically made, which is sad, or other means. And the only thing that people could do to fight back on all this, you're going to boost your immune system. And you're going to have to go back and eat whole foods and drink whole liquids. You get me? You're going to have to take things that's going on a constant basis every month or 2. You're going to have to, I tell people many times, we're going to have to go for a cleanse. I would advocate most people, they're going to have to start cleansing every month. If you have poor health, you need to take your health serious, and you're going to have to cleanse vigilantly. I'm not saying you have to be cleansing every day, because that's not a good sign. I would say every month or 2, you should go for your daily cleansing rituals. Get the things that will detoxify the body. Get your colon clean. Make sure you get all your organs start clean out. You know, you might have to take some juicings like vegetables whole vegetables. Clean your vegetables and fruits properly. You might have to use apple cider vinegar or some other chemicals to rinse your food, fruits and vegetables. The point is this: people are going to start doing the work again. Gigi, they can't depend on this Western medicine and hope that for the best. Because I tell most people, you can't afford to get certain sickness if you can prevent it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think things are not looking good for a lot of people that got it or not. You know what I'm saying? Especially when things are going up now. So I tell people the best thing when things like inflation and stuff that's happening, you have to take your health in your own hands more seriously now. You don't want to get caught up. So, anything else, Gigi?
No, thank you very much for taking my call.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. That was Gigi, everybody. All right. Now, the tips. And a reminder of the call-in show again. Call number 717-908-1834. Access code 917324#. I repeat, 717-908-1834. Access code 917324#. Today's stream, Chaos Rain presents How to Spot a Pokeyman. The guides and tips for ladies to spot or know or even to avoid, if possible, the Pokeyman. Questions. You must sneak in questions to a person that you might be sexually attracted to, that you want to, you know, give up the pussy or whatever, saying, or you're going to say that you're going to give them some in time or whatever. The question you should ask as a woman, and this question always will fool the dumbasses of men that don't think about it. And usually you don't just don't throw it on him. You do it very secretive, very quiet or secretive. One, you always come into a nice dinner or a situation where you and him are having some form of conversation, and make sure the conversation is enlightening, stimulating, etc. You throw the question of what you like to do in the bedroom, ladies. Now you say, huh? Wait, what do you mean? Well, I like to, listen, relax, listen. Chaos got you, listen good. You always throw in this to this so-called alleged Pokeyman. You tell him that you're into a lot of kinky stuff, including you like to get poked in your booty hole. Do you like it, or you have a problem with it, or you sometimes have a problem? Me as a woman, I like that. I need that. If your so-called pokey man, or the one that you are sex attracted to, looks at you and joking or with a smile on his face or whatever, gives you that expression, and he said, oh yeah, I'm down with that, I'm cool with that, oh yeah, that's cool, I like that, that's my thing. Red flag. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Red flag. It's time out. Time out. And here's why. A man that's comfortable with sexuality and is straight will look at you side-eyed and say, oh, that's cool, I'm not really into that. He will show signs not only from his expression, but he'll probably, if right, will tell you directly, that's cool, but I'm not into that. And that's not my thing. That, a man is not a pokey man. Now, a lot of people's going to get pushback, and they're going to get pushback on the podcast side of things. Or make sure you guys subscribe to the Apple Podcast, Google Play, Spotify, etc. of this particular stream. I think this is going to be too hot for certain streams, personally, because I'm dropping some jewels in game. Because this is not supposed to be laid out, personally. Because people don't think about it. People don't really ask these questions, because as beings, we like to do things on the fly, and we feel transparency is not the key. And I'll tell you personally, it is. It is very important. You must be transparent as a woman. And my watch time now, I notice people are starting to watch it more now after I said that, surprisingly. Anyway, so that is number one. The other thing, to spot out your man is a Pokemon or a Pokeyman. If you never ask this question and you get caught and go into the one-night stands, which a lot of Americans are doing. If your mate loves to put his finger in your booty hole, that is red flag again. Now, ladies, this is going to be very uncomfortable, this conversation, but I'm trying to give you the few little tips here and here to easily spot it out, since you don't want or concern or don't want to know that your man is engaged in Pokemon activity. These are a few guys you could take from the Chaos Rain that will help and protect you at all costs. At all costs, at all costs, at all costs. No man should be comfortable sticking his finger in your booty hole while he's hitting it from the back. That's no. Now, if you're a woman and you like that and you're engaged in that and you love that, I can't help you, sweetie. That tells me you're very disconnected from not only yourself but your own body. And usually that happens because you've been sexually taken advantage of, mostly molested or in rape or whatever you want to call it. In that nature that you grew an enticement, a desire, a taste for that. If that has happened to you in the past, Chaos Rain always recommend and always advise, go seek some help. Get some help. Because you're dealing with trauma that has not been resolved sexually and is shown in the real world, including in the bedroom. And you need to address that out of many things. Because if you do that and your man does that to you, you have no problem and you're enticed to it, you might not be aware or don't care that your man not only will love to poke you in the booty hole, but he'll poke other men, unfortunately. And please, as people listen, please get the likes up, please. Get these likes up. I appreciate it. So like I said, get some help if you're not sexually damaged in that way where you're comfortable with a lot of things. The third thing, as you know, what's out here now, these dudes are eating the booty like groceries. They're not only eating your booty as groceries, but you possibly as a woman as eating him, and is eating him in the groceries as well. And if you're a woman that likes to do that crap, and this dude doesn't stop you right there, or he just take, well, I'm gonna chill, because I was gonna say something that most men should not do if where it leads to physicality, because I don't advocate men and women put hands in each other, but if a man has to take his right hand and turn the opposite direction and give you a straight pimp slap, to find that you are giving him head and you automatically flip him over and about to put your tongue in his booty hole, he will slap you, and he slap you like that. And like I said, please, no violence. We don't advocate violence here. As men and women, keep your hands to yourself, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If that happens, that tells you he's not in that direction and he doesn't want that. But if he's a man that doesn't mind that and he just sit there and then assume the position that he wants that, another red flag. Time out. Yes. That tells me if he doesn't mind you dabbling into his, extremities, he won't mind other or the opposite or the same sex do it as well. That is another indication that you're dealing with a pokey man. And the fourth and last one, and this is always the one that's always the killer. If you have not gotten to 1, 2, 3, you find that your mate, your boyfriend or husband, if he is, how can I say this? I gotta think about this one. And this one might be false, but this is something that I would say is out here now. That if your mate has to with certain friends, male friends, and you hear from other female friends that there's when that he was around certain environments that is known, and I mean known, that is only for same sex, and he's hanging around those environments, that is another red flag. Time out. Yes. Oh, and the fifth one, I'm going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I forgot to add this too. If you find your male boyfriend or girlfriend, your male boyfriend or husband, and he has a gay friend, that's another red flag. Yes. Hold on. So, wait. 1 second, guys. All right, hold on. Let me I gotta give the call-in number. Cause look like somebody wants to call in. Here, let me paste this. And it's funny when I'm going into the details, I notice the phone line starts to go dead for some reason. I wonder why. And like I said before, and I'll say this again, this is something that I was going to keep in the back burner, but it has to be talked about, because I want to see the seriousness of a lot of the ladies that tell me they don't like when the brothers or the black man is engaged, or he is engaged in these Pokeyman activities, or he is what they call a Pokeyman. And I'm just giving you the game from how I see it, and through calculus, observing and hearing from the ladies, I have formulated my own solutions. So those are the 5 ways. If I could go back and recap, the first one is you present the question very much, not secretly, but throw it to him on a day when he doesn't expect it and he's comfortable. That you let him know, even on a first date or whatever, or you and him have not had intercourse, but you and him, you're, building up to some relationship. And you throw this question at him randomly, right? That you like to engage in anal sex. And you love it, and you ask him, do you enjoy, you like it? If he's smiling and has this big smile grin and it said, I love it, I'm down with it, that's red flag number 1. The other one, if I can remember, shit, damn, it's slipping to me. See, the worst thing about this, I didn't write this down. I'm doing this on the fly because I like to do things on the fly, people, as you know. The second one is, I would say, the second one, if I remember, if you're not a damaged woman already, that your mate will try to stick his finger in your booty, during sex, If he did that, that's red flag. That's number 2. Number 3, if he likes to get his salad tossed, and if he likes it and he doesn't really say nothing to you right after, or he stopped right there and stuff, and he even goes as far as assume position, another red flag. Number 4, number 4, if, like I said, if there's any rumors or any spread rumors about it, and you actually, I think that'd be the spread rumors part, is number 4. And the last one, and last but not least, number 5, if he hangs around or has what they call homosexual friends, or my fault, or no, actually, yeah, he has friends, and not only, but he also attends to some of these events. Not one, but multiple events. That's the other red flag. So those are the 5. And I probably have to go back and try to synthesize this so I could make this more clear and coarse. But those are 5 signs that you as a woman, and mind you, this only applies to the women that are not damaged sexually, meaning that you as a woman, you were not molested in any ways, and you were taking advantage in all forms of your hole, from your mouth, your vagina, and your anus, and it's been done repeatedly, even to the point that you're craving and you like it, and you're fully not aware, so you will not be attentive to detail once you deal with the opposite sex. If you're that type of woman, these 5 tips will not help you, because you're already damaged and you need to go seek some counseling and therapy right away. But the women that are not damaged, these are things that you could easily find out without even being surprised. And the point of this is that you cannot fool yourself in the 21st century, especially out here in the dating market. You got to know what's out here as a woman. And you have to protect yourself at all costs. Because when we talk about STDs and all this stuff, even to the point when I read the article about this young black woman that got, or said she contracted AIDS by these 2 celebrities, it's showing, and it's a testament. And let's be honest, you got to understand, people that are in the celebrity lifestyle, entertainers and stuff, that's making millions of dollars, is a highly chance that they're going to be dabbling into homosexual behavior. That's prevalent. That's evident. You're not going to get around that. Unless you know your mate before he got the money from the start that he's not that about that life. Well, if you come across this person and he already got the money, chances are it's a high possibility that he might be engaged in Pokeyman activity. And those are the tips. I'm hoping this was helpful. I hope you apply this in your own lives, ladies. This will cut all nonsense. And I don't hear no stupidness about saying, well, you can't, that can't be true, that might not work. No, listen to the black man, chick. Please. Men are speaking. And when men speak, we're going to deal with the logic here, and we're going to give some solutions. Now, there's some things I can add on in the near future of ways to improve on this. But for now, these are the scenarios. These are the layouts to how you can figure out if your man is a Pokeyman. And you have to worry about, and you cut your chance of getting unknown diseases, especially the HIV and AIDS. Now, will it prevent all forms of sexual STDs? No, because people out here are engaged in perverse now. God knows, like I said before, there are people out here that's damaged, that's engaged in sexual activities that a normal person should not be engaged in. And I think it's going to come to the point that black people, if we're not at that point, but we're eventually probably there now, that is not circulating throughout the net like that, we're at the point now we're going to engage in bestiality. Yes, I said it. And I called it out years ago on previous broadcasts. And the reason I say it is because sex is like any addiction or high. Once you get comfortable with one position, you want to uptake your natural urge and desire. And doing certain positions, certain sexual activities, stuff, it's only for the moment, but it's not enough to feel your deep urge, your deep lustful desires when it comes to intercourse. So it might come to the point that with a lot of black folks with these animals, I must say, just be careful. Just be careful. Let's see. Mary, if you're there, you can press raise your hand if you want to speak or chime in. It's up to you. I see him. And personally, you know, like I said, going into this, I know that it is not favorable. You know, it's a good idea, yes. But you know, if I could say, I could call it that, TJ. You know, it's a good thing. I'm gonna call it, like, you know how we call it the crack commandments? I'll call it the 5 no booty hole commandments. Yeah, it's another one. Yeah, I like that, TJ. Thank you. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I should have named that. No, I couldn't name that. But, you know, I like that title. Maybe in the future I'll name it and do upload. Respect, TJ. I like that. Yeah, the 5 booty hole commandments. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, but like I said, let me see how long I've been up here. Let me check. I'm trying to check now, guys. How long I've been up here. Alright. Okay, I'm going to refresh this. It looks like I've been on here for more than an hour. So that's pretty much it. I think that's all I got to say. I think I laid my claims, laid everything out for y'all. I hope that when y'all do get a chance to listen to this on podcasting, it becomes clear. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And I think nobody raised their hand, so it looks like everybody's listening. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. And like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, the top bell, not the middle bell, not the low bell, the top bell for uploads and live streams on the Chaos Rain channel. Also, follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. And now you can follow me on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. I'm looking forward for the comments on this one. I know this is very uncomfortable, unfavorable. As you know, most people don't like when we give out the tea or the secrets of this, but it's a necessity, and a necessity nonetheless to really give the real solutions, because this is T.R.S. And we got to do solutions. If there's no solutions, there's no tangible, there's no benefit for the show. You feel me? You see? All right. Anyway, that's it for me. Tune into the next broadcast, guys. Try to see if we can get some people on here for another broadcast. But we shall see. All right. Thank y'all for listening. Until next time, take care.